This sub mini game is so stupid. Wait, what did I call it?
And it takes so long.
What did I call it? Sub game?
I haven't been paying attention to this.
Sub time?
I haven't paid attention to this game in a while.
I think it's sub again. Let's see. Yep, okay. I mean, it's only a case where, like, I think Myst, the environment makes a lot more sense for it to be, like, barren and, like, no human interaction. Oh, shit. But I do think they go out of their way to, like, set up, like, quote-unquote, like, plot mechanisms for which to justify the fact that you're just, like...
Doing nothing,
or, like, interacting with no one. Like, you're just, like, a dude in a skin-tight latex suit being annoying.
A biosuit.
Oh, sorry. You're right.
A skin-tight latex biosuit.
A skin ship.
No signs of cracks or pressure stresses. I am now proceeding to Gamma Sector 1 to conduct radioactivity tests on those leaky ore drums I reported this morning.
Negative, Def Sub. NORAD 6 is under full-scale red alert. Hold your position till we can figure out what's happened down there. Over.
Hold your position until we can figure out how to play this goddamn game. Warning.
NORAD Alpha, sub-bay 3.
And, like, what is the purpose of the crane?
Personnel, contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system. Launch prep. Warning. Personnel,
Okay, wow.
Complete. Sonar chaff, full.
I'm gonna try this sub game again. One more time, though.
Contamination detected in NORAD air ducts and ventilation system. Warning. Personnel.
We'll see. Oh, oops, no. Worst.
Attack submarine. Access platform A4. Alpha sector. Personnel. Lower attack zone.
Okay, this time for real.
Commence boarding. Warning.
You know what I don't like about adventure games from this period of time is, like, there's so much, like, dying and then, like, learning that you're not supposed to die that way and then you play again.
I mean, but only in... I mean, that's a Sierra thing, and that's, like... There are a few adventure games that do that, but, like, for example, like, LucasArts and... was it, like, Revolution, the guys that made Beneath the Steel Sky and Broken Sword and stuff? Like, there are adventure games that don't do that, which I appreciate.
Yeah, like, I don't necessarily understand, like, the point of doing that in your game.
No, I mean, that's one of the things that, like, you know, as much as the Quantic Dream David Cage games get criticized, his idea that if there's a game over, it's not that the player's done something wrong, it's that the developer has done something wrong. I think that's an interesting idea.
That is an interesting idea.
And it's an idea that David Cage certainly didn't invent, but he is one of the guys who is sort of still continuing on with that mindset in development. Which is also, I mean, it's interesting because there are, like, Deja Vu. Have you ever played Deja Vu?
No.
Because it's, you know, it's like an early adventure game, like Apple II, and I guess probably DOS, but it's like you die all the time in that game. You can die in the first, like, 5 seconds playing it. And that's one of the early adventure games, but at the same time, there are also a lot of adventure games where you can't die, so it's got both extremes. There's something I appreciate about the genre.
Yeah.
Personally.
Incoming torpedo.
Well, I just, like...
Alert.
Like, I really like the Hugo games. Those are pretty early adventure games.
Yeah,
so, like,
definitely.
they're also all about dying.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't see how it serves the narrative of, like, for specifically this game, like,
Right.
all the dying, particularly with all these, like, goofy mini games and shit.
Sure.
Like, the fact that, like, okay, so I made a mistake with the stupid sub-game twice. But I still have to play it, like, this, like, you can die twice? Like, can you die 3 times? I mean, we're gonna find out right now, but, like, that seems really annoying to me.
Again, that's something it makes you feel kind of bad, but one thing that I do like about the Yakuza games is that when you die in Yakuza, it'll ask you if it wants you to set the difficulty to easy.
Yeah, I've had that before too, and like,
I'm always like, no, I can do it, but sometimes eventually, you know, you gotta go easy.
I mean, it's definitely unpleasant to get frustrated with the game. I mean, I'm not like the Dark Souls type at all.
No, I mean, I think I probably am more than you are. Like, there are certainly games that I've played that are like the Japanese Super Mario Brothers 2 and a couple of other Umihara Kawase. Yeah. No, but there are a few like notoriously difficult games that I've played and sort of enjoyed the reward of completing, but that's for a specific kind of game, and you gotta know that that's what it is getting into it. It fucking Pegasus Prime does not need to be frustrating and difficult.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's sort of... I mean, I don't know. Our score is okay, I guess.
Yeah, we're
like
almost halfway there, in a sense.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like I need to, like, literally read the entire guide before I even play this game, which I find to be a complicated way to play a game, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, you got to think about how this game was being played at the time. Because there's not that much gameplay in it. There's probably 3 to 4 hours of straight gameplay. But this was meant to be a game that you could play for like a long time until you beat it. So I think it is kind of designed to be frustrating and waste your time to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Because that's how it was being played at the time. Like, this was something that you would just, you know, start up and, you know, try for a couple of hours when you were bored and see if you could get any further. And eventually you'd find something you hadn't found before, and, you know, maybe a few months out you'd beat the game. But I think it is specifically designed to keep you from being able to play through it too quickly.
I mean, I feel like, just based on my own personal experience with this game in the 90s, and that was specifically... Because there's the Journeyman Project, there's the Journeyman Project Turbo, which is what I played, and then this, the Journeyman Project Pegasus Prime, which is a remake of the original game. I played Turbo, and like I would constantly just get like way too frustrated and be like, I don't like, the game doesn't ever tell you anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it'll give you snippets of like lore, I guess, but like it's very unspecific about like, you should go here, or you should do this or that, like, and like it was always frustrating. I never beat the game as a kid, and like even now, I'm like, this is like,
I mean, that's something
more than 10 years later. I'm like, what the fuck with this game?
You know, the first adventure game I ever played was Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which is still a game that I like quite a bit. And the nice thing about that game is that, although there are some sort of counterintuitive puzzles that usually involve using something from your inventory that doesn't seem like it should go it doesn't seem like it should go with something in the environment. You know, just like, all right, use the parrot with the wall, let's see what happens.
I hate that.
There is a little bit of that, but I didn't ever find myself just totally at a blockade like this.
Like, you didn't want to like turn off the game.
Right. And, well, you know, sometimes you do, but whenever you do, next time you turn it on, you always figure out what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with this, it's like I have to look at a guide, which is fine, because I have somewhat of an interest in how they resolve this story circa 1996 or whatever.
This is also meant to be... I really think the way this game is designed to be played is not quite in like a sort of quick like stream environment like we're doing. Like, I think you're really supposed to play this game by yourself and sort of in a state of relaxation and boredom.
Fugue state? A fugue
right.
state?
You're supposed to play this game in a fugue state where, like, you've got time to kill and you can just sort of, like, you know, just get into it for a while and not care whether you progress or not. That's why there's all the FMV and all these things to look at. It's like, you know, in the mid-90s, you could just kind of, you know, take in the scenery and hope you progressed. And I think it's a much looser gameplay experience than we expect these days. And even a lot of, you know, compared to what a lot of people would have expected at the time. But
no, I mean, I had to agree that I think that this game is certainly, like, pretty respectable considering, like, technologically where it's at and, like, how it's displaying all this different kinds of information, video and still images and animation. But, I mean, it is important to note that, like, this game originally, early 90s, was remade twice.
Yeah, sure.
Like, it was a popular game in the sense where they felt to remake
Myst
it
is one of the most popular games of all time, and it plays very similarly to this.
That's true.
And also, I mean,
that's true.
Another thing is, like, if you read, you know, in like serious adventure game communities, Myst is pretty heavily derided, but has some defenders. It's kind of a controversial game because of how games like this break with what you usually think of as an adventure game, and the sort of the more puzzle-oriented, sparser adventure games have really ardent defenders, and also are, you know, very derided because, you know, whatever you can say about this game, it is a fairly different experience from other games of the time, even other adventure games.
I mean, I even think it's very different than Myst, to be honest.
Right.
Like,
it's different, but it's on a similar level, I think.
I think that's true. I mean, I don't know. My favorite adventure game of the time was probably, like, I guess, what is it? The sequel to Maniac Mansion.
Oh,
Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, Day of the Tentacle is great.
That's like
Day of the Tentacle is a lot of fun.
Yeah, we should stream that. But
I'm okay with streaming Day of the Tentacle.
Day of the Tentacle is amazing, but, like, that's a very, like, Scum VM kind of RPG adventure game kind of thing. But this, it's just, I guess it is a different ballgame. But with that in mind,
I mean, again, that's one of those games where you can't really die.
Yeah, you just get stuck.
No,
you don't die. There's no game over.
I mean, all those LucasArts games, there are a couple of game overs sometimes. Usually in the combat sections of those games that do have combat. Indiana Jones has sort of like punching fighting game combat that's not very difficult at all. Full Throttle has like motorcycle punching combat where you can die, but it's not that hard. Like, those sections of those games are... they're not what get you stuck.
That's like flavor.
Yeah, it just breaks up the adventure gaming sections, you know? But the puzzles are what get you stuck. And I think a good adventure game should only get you stuck to the point where you want to keep coming back and figure it out.
I totally agree. Well, on that note, we're going to pause the Journeyman Project because I literally have to go read the entire guide and come back because it's so difficult. But we're going to stream something else. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, I'm Elliot.
And I am Roger.
And we love you.
That's it.
Don't play this game.